So I'm going to let this part of his video play all the way through, the part where he covers me. And these two on the front, I'm going to let it play all the way through without interrupting them. This is a video that they made titled False Prophets and Lost Souls, Controlled Demolition of the Truth Community. And that is what I propose that these two are, the ones holding the machine guns up front, Chalkbody and his buddy EBT, professional lawyers who do not practice their craft in a courtroom setting, but in the court of public opinion. And that controlled demolition of the truth community is actually their job as counterintelligence propaganda agents. We'll discuss all this later, so I'm going to let their piece of their video where they discuss my content play all the way through without interrupting them. Someone commented that they were sad or frustrated to see me mention these other truthers, that I'm above it or some shit like that. And I understand, but I'm not above it. I'm showing you, A, what other agents are out there, and I am going to propose in the next video or two coming up that me and Chalkbody Outline could actually be working for the same exact agency. One of us pulling in the exact opposite direction of the other. The Joaquin and the Boaz, the black and the white. And the tension or friction that is created by this pulling in opposite directions is what actually creates the distillation of consciousness, the purification process. And you can see here that he sent me a message saying, we will humor you and do a Extinguishing the Snyderverse on Friday night. If you want to call and defend yourself, Discord would be the easiest way. We'll give you room to talk. I will draw your attention to the very first words and the very last words that they use. The very first words in their 12-minute segment of this video that pertains to plasma fire. Very first words is, oh, I don't really want to go in hard on him. Very last words are, just keep doing what you're doing God's work. And the other one says, yeah, the Holy Spirit speaks through him. Everything in between is the job that they were assigned to do. Not only does he say, keep doing what you're doing God's work, he then follows up with, we're just over here doing our jobs, and he repeats that a couple times. Not to try to...
Back in the day, that would have been, you know...
Oh, right away, that like Jeff Snyder, I don't want to go too hard in him because he's not worth it. But if you can't watch Jeff Snyder and realize this guy's he's nuts, fucking schizo fucking motherfucker.
Well, and and then we're seeing the same response out of that genre, right? Like,
so he has this theory called plasma fire that he said you can't even question it. It's 100%. If you have even a question about it, according to him, you're a fucking paid shill. The government's paid you to fucking steer people away from it or something like that. Jane Doe says, talk about Jeff Snyder, please.
I mean, he's saying that we're immoral.
And the same as the rapist. That's what he said.
Yeah. Not talking about plasma fire is equivalent to seeing a woman in the middle of the street getting gang raped and not doing something about it. Is equivalent to not talking about burnt fucking sticks on the side of the road.
It's literally what he fucking says. So these people, they get, not just him, but they get their pet theory, and it's like that's all they see. So it is part of that pareidolia and stuff. But it's like for him to even say that it's not questionable and it's 100%. And I mean, you're being intellectually dishonest, and you're not going to, I mean, if you can't have a discussion or debate about it or even a question about it, then that's why I don't even want to. I wanted to, we could have talked about it all night, but he was being so dumb about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, obviously, we did the phone thing, so we're not going to play any clips or anything. But I mean, if we were to play, he was claiming that if we were just to play these videos that he put in a comment that he kept reposting over and over again, if we just played these videos, then it would be very clear and apparent and self-evident that this is the truth. and that there would be no
I
way
could
to.
just point my phone at it.
Yeah, I mean, if we do play these, I mean, there's going to be things that are very apparent, and it's not going to be that plasma fire is real.
He got one 12 minutes ago. He just uploaded one. But hold on, let's go to this one.
And it doesn't matter what we're going to say, because the guy's going to say that we're. I don't understand what they think that we're shilling for, right? Like I'm working for Big Finn's Post over here. Okay, we got to keep this.
Yeah, he goes around and you see this tree, guys? This tree burned from the inside out. Oh, but it didn't touch any of this grass right here. Well, yeah, because you don't know when the fucking tree burned. Probably burned 2 years ago, and all that fucking brush under it probably burnt as well. And now the brush has grown back. That's what I would think. That's why I wanted to get.
That doesn't take very long.
No, fucking couple days. So I wanted him to come on to defend this thing, and these are the questions. I would see this and I would say, yo, this probably burnt a while ago, and then all this like grass here regrew. You don't know when the fuck this burned. You don't have any idea. So you don't really have anything up for this. Is like your ultimate. This is self-evident, according to him. This is self-evident that the Earth's geomagnetic induction or some shit, whatever he was trying to say, is the reason. Let me find the geomagnetic induction and increased electrical ground current causes plasma fires and many health effects. For any who are interested in the truth, see the link below. And then he gives a link to this channel called Suspicious Observers with 650,000 subscribers almost. So he's saying they don't want anyone to know about this. And this is the ultimate truth. And then his proof of this is a channel that's like creeping up on 1 million fucking subscribers. And they don't want you to know about it.
I don't know if you watched that video. The guy says a whole bunch of words that mean nothing.
No, I didn't watch it at all.
Well, whose audio is both of our audios going in and out, or what? Chat.
Is both audio going in and out, or just E?
Yeah, because I mean I'm on Bluetooth. It might be messed up. Oh, okay. It's on their end. Shit. Where were we? That video. The guy just talks about a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. You know, it's all doomsday stuff again. He probably sells fucking food buckets. Shit about
that other guy. What is it called? What's his name? Hold on. What's his name?
Oh, that Inspired or whatever.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy that Snyder linked to.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. But he goes on talking about how they did a poll. They did a poll on Joe Rogan's podcast to see who the audience would want for the next guest to be or whatever. And I guess like that guy was in like the top 4 suggestions or something. But then he was saying like Rogan's producers don't want to bring me in because I know too much, and they obviously can't let this get out and all this shit, you know. The same grift, right? The sun's gonna fucking explode, everybody's gonna die, okay? He's like building like a big like EMP proof like truck and like all this other stupid shit, you know. Probably sells EMP sleeves to protect him, Faraday cages to put on for EMP to like. I don't understand what these people think they're gonna. That EMP thing is a big grift, like in all the community, like Mark Fugel and all these people run off that EMP grift.
Dark Glasses Woody I must be showing my side over here. Mole Chat, Doma, and Gorillas.
Yeah, hold on.
So he finds trees that burn from the inside and basically says it's because the Earth's pole is rotating. I'm not 100% sure I know it. That's why I was trying to get him on. And he's way too pussy to come on.
Well, I mean, like
that's why I said I don't want to. All he's gonna say is you didn't represent it right. That's why I wanted him on. That's why. But according to him, you see this right here, and this is gonna prove to you that you're gonna die soon in a fucking plasma fire. Look at this. You can see the wood. Oh wow, it's fucking burnt wood. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta switch my thing. Hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll keep just talking shit about this shit. I mean, so this dude drives around and points at these. Oh, is this the same one? I think I'm on the same one here. He drives a truck around and finds any like burn pile and then says, "Oh, this is a plasma fire, and you're gonna fucking die. It's from electrical arcs coming off of the fucking geomagnetic field of the Earth, the weakening of the geomagnetic field, or some shit like that." I'm sure I don't have it right, but I tried to like get him to come on, and he wasn't having it. And to him though, he says anyone that doesn't believe this, you're just a fucking paid shill, or you're apparently you're just an NPC or something if you don't believe that these twigs, because the grass around it is not burnt. And there is dews and shit like that, and I believe in shit like that. But I don't understand his claims here and why it's like the ultimate like doomsday thing. And if you don't tell someone about this, then you're equivalent to a rapist. No, we don't. We can't hear you. Now I can hear you. What did you do?
Well, I took.
It's
I
good.
tried to go on headphones. Hold on. Let me see if I can go back to Bluetooth. See if some people. Hear me.
No, I can't hear you.
No, can't hear me.
Nah, it's like sounds like you're really far away or something. Yeah, I don't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yes. There.
This is some straight up Instagram days shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what Snyder's on to, because I mean, like, I've burnt a lot of stuff. I've spent thousands of hours burning stuff, probably since I was a kid. I've seen plenty of logs and campfires that burn from the inside, because you know it's kind of how they dry out a lot of the time. And then trees that are in a drought probably going to dry out from the inside because the capillaries of the tree are closer to the outside. So whatever water is there is going to be on the external parts of the tree. I just don't see any other evidence, and these are just basic burnt sticks. I could go to my fire pit out back and get like a same thing that he's showing as evidence for plasma fires. So I don't get the leap. And then of course, you're just people, well, what about dew weapons and all this shit? Like, what do you mean, what about dew weapons? They're not dew weaponing a fucking fence post in the middle of fucking Utah.
In the middle of fucking Idaho. Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro. It's Aphrodite was in here and she said boring bye. And this is what it's all based on. They want some fantastical shit. It just regular fires not enough. They want to hear something fucking fantastic. These people. And then so the shit becomes a religion. There's canon within it, right? All this conspiracy shit. And at least in religion, there's like requirements for these people to get up and give a service or something, right, in front of people. But on the YouTube shit, yeah, everyone's got a channel, and you can just go out and say fucking anything you want, and then like-minded fucking people that have like I don't want to say every single person that looks in this is schizo or something, but if you're presenting some schizo ideas, schizo people are going to be drawn to it, and then they're going to reinforce your beliefs of what you're saying, and then you're going to go harder on it. And then they only want to hear like schizos only want to hear schizo shit, right? Makes sense. They don't want to hear like some fucking normal shit.
I mean, if I want to be, fully candid, I mean, this man, Jeff Snyder, claims that he has an alien device implanted inside his head, and that he's able to see giant cloaked aircraft carriers in the sky. People. He tried to give the Mormon Church his shellacked burnt wood. Like I don't even know where to go with this guy. Like not to punch down. Okay, Jeff, keep doing what you're doing. God's work, Jeff. You're doing God's work.
The Holy Spirit speaks through.
We're just trying to do our job. We're just here doing our job, Jeff.
Oh, Ben's in the chat. Shout out to Ben. He says,
so I'm not even going to try and defend myself against this character assassination that they attempted to engage in, because it's the same character assassination that they ran on Jason of Archaics, the one who's there in the center of the screen, and Jason of J-Dreamers, the Plasma Apocalypse channel, who's not on this image. But these are professional lawyers, and instead of practicing their craft in the courtroom, they have been well trained in all of the things that are not allowed in the courtroom, like badgering the witness, irrelevant question, implied statement, all of the things that either the judge or the other guy's lawyer would say, objection, Your Honor, that's out of order, because that's what they specialize in. By becoming a lawyer, you know how to persuade the jury. Well, we're in the court of public opinion, and instead of adhering to all the things that you have to in a courtroom, you get to do all of the things that are not allowed in a courtroom when you hit the court of public opinion. These guys are professionals at what they do. I've seen them try to do these takedowns of Jason of Archaics, who covers the Phoenix phenomenon, J-Dreamers, who covers the Plasma Apocalypse, and those are both the same exact phenomenon or process or cataclysmic cyclic reset. And they latch on to me to do a character assassination on me as well. And as far as being immoral, relating it to rape, and looking the other way when you see someone being I don't want to say this word too many times or it might get me flagged. Not only are they looking the other way, they're jumping in front of what's going on to make sure no one else who thinks they can see something going on and say, no, anyone who thinks they see anything going on over here besides just burnt twigs and sticks is schizo. Go tell that to the people of Lahaina. Go tell that to the people of Chile. They have provably watched these videos that they took clips from. And they reduced the resolution by 50% by only putting the plasma fire videos on the left half of the screen. And then they reduced the resolution by another 50% by filming it from one phone to the other. And then he would not show even 30 seconds of any of the videos and allow any of my narration. So they were clearly not here to have any sort of a debate or discussion. It was a character assassination of the messenger, no interest in discussing or understanding the message. This is the point I'm trying to drive home to you guys. These two don't believe any of the arguments or the statements that they made. They can see plasma fire as well as you can and as well as I can. All of the statements they made are simply a character assassination of the messenger. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence propaganda. They latch onto a narrative like hijacking a hashtag, and then you redirect the storyline that people associate with that narrative. They did the same thing to the Phoenix phenomenon, Jason of Archaics, the Plasma Apocalypse, Jason of the J-Dreamers YouTube channel, and Plasma Fire, Jeff Snyder of the Jeff Snyder channel, which are all dealing with the same phenomenon. These guys are assigned to this topic and to latch on to anyone who is presenting information related to this topic and do their character assassination that they do so well. It is no way that they are not professionally trained in doing so. They are essentially lawyers that know all the rules of what is not acceptable in a courtroom, and that also trained them in all the things that work even more effectively once you're outside of the courtroom in the court of public opinion where no one's going to object. So you don't have to debate the relevant and pertinent information or the evidence, and you do get to just jump to these implied statements and innuendo and personal character assassination and attacks and badgering the witness. You get to do all the things that are not allowed in the courtroom, and you don't do any of the things that are allowed in the courtroom because they don't want to actually discuss any of the evidence. They want to attack the messenger. So as far as the morality of what they're doing and saying that I equated it to turning a blind eye to something like rape, go show the people this hit job they did, this character assassination. Anyone who knows these guys knows they're intelligent enough to see what it is I'm saying. You're not smarter than these guys. That's what I'm trying to get you to wrap your mind around. These are not just regular guys who don't get it. These guys get it. These are agents. I know how difficult it is to accept that because so many people in the truther community, they're like, oh, he's a shill. Oh, he's a shill. Everyone but me's a shill. And those people are so annoying that it desensitizes you to the claim and the accusation that someone is actually being disingenuous and dishonest and working for an ulterior motive other than the discovery of truth. These guys are the real deal. They are very intelligent. You can see it in all of their other videos, but in this video they play dumb. They are very good at what they do when it comes to the character assassination and persuading the audience, which in a courtroom is 12 jurors or the judge, but in the court of public opinion, it's the viewers. They are professionally trained. These guys are real good at what they do. They are not just people who don't get it or have questions. They have no interest in understanding the evidence of what it is I'm getting at here. Absolutely none, because they already get it. They already understand it. They understand plasma fire as well as you do, as well as I do. Only once you accept that maybe they're doing what they're doing and they believe they're doing it from the moral high ground of knowing they are preserving the greatest amount of happiness for the most amount of people by keeping the human herd from stampeding and squashing this as long as they can while it's happening. Otherwise, if people catch on to what's going on, we're all screwed. So for my wife and my family and my kids and my friends and anyone that I care about and even just the general public, I'm going to do everything I can to suppress this message. They think they're doing it from the moral high ground, and maybe they are. It's hard for me, as someone who pressed so hard for the dissemination of this truth, as someone who's so frustrated because I'm the only one who can see it, to accept that. But even I can accept that with all of the work that I've put in. It's not just sour grapes like, well, fine, I don't want people to know the truth then, and maybe it's better this way. No, it really is. Did you see the toilet paper run? They proved that you can't wipe your ass without them and that you guys are dumb animals that are easily spooked. So much so that toilet paper became the new gold and there were people fighting over it at the store, selling it for $20 a roll. When people respond that way over a induced toilet paper shortage, what do you think they would do if they could see the reality of plasma fire? Exactly. We would all be screwed. So it is a moral imperative that guys like this, like EBT and Chalk, do the same thing that all of these other institutions are doing when they are all not mentioning plasma fire. All of the educational institutions, the law enforcement, the fire department, presidents, prime ministers, the media, no one's talking about this. There is an orchestrated and coordinated worldwide cover-up of the subject, and guys like this are put out there as counterintelligence propaganda, COINTELPRO, to find out anyone who does know about plasma fire, latch onto their narrative, and try to lead that plane off the runway into the ditch before it gets airborne. Because if people find out about this, we're all screwed. So it is a moral imperative to keep people in the dark about this as long as possible. So not only do all those institutions not talk about it, they send out agents like these. That's what these two guys are. So let me watch and bring my blood pressure back down here for a minute. I know there's a lot of new viewers that are like, Quit calling it geomagnetic induction. Someone said your video about the Secret Service vehicles that got hit proves that this is directed energy weapons, and there is no pole shift. My subscriber number went from about 2,500 to about 5,500 since the Lahaina fires. I got a lot of new subscribers and they don't know my position on this. But like EBT said, what am I shilling for big fence post? If it's directed energy, they wouldn't be shooting directed energy at some random fence post in the middle of Utah or Idaho. And he's right. That does not make any sense. And hundreds of my videos that I took myself out in the field as a long-haul truck driver in 6 or 8, I think I've got videos from like 8 or 9 different states of plasma fire hitting in random places, a field here, a fence post there. I've got 6 or 8 videos from right here in Heber since I've been living here the last year. Just little tiny spots where this energy springs forth and reveals the burn patterns of what I call plasma fire. Those same burn patterns can be seen in other scenarios where it's clear, it is obvious, it is directed energy weapon. The 5 Secret Service vehicles of Joe Biden's, hours after he returned them to the Hertz rental company, prove that this energy can be directed and weaponized. There is no other explanation for those 5 Secret Service vehicles. Zero. Other than it was intentional. That's the one I believe is the greatest evidence that proves directed energy, that melts the engine block, melts the glass, and many of the other burn signatures that are pervasive within these plasma fires. So when people are like, what, don't you think it's directed energy? Quit saying it's geomagnetic induction. I believe it's both. The same energy that is what they call geomagnetic induction can be induced artificially through technology and directed. But it is the same energy that is out of control everywhere during the pole shift. When the weakening of the magnetic field gets to a certain point, fluctuations in the magnetic field create a surge of ground current. So it's not either or, it's both and. It's not either directed energy weapon or some sort of natural phenomenon like geomagnetic induction. It's both and. A great explanation is here by Skywatch Media, where he titled his video, this is from like 5-6 years ago, and he shows you on different graphs from around the world that measure the ground current and graphs from around the world that measure the magnetic field. And he shows you that there was this anomaly, and these anomalies are expected when there's incoming solar wind from a solar flare. But on this occasion, he shows that there was no increased solar wind, yet we saw a fluctuation in the magnetic field, and it coincides with a surge of ground current electricity. And he titled his video, Earth's magnetic field suddenly vibrates, causing an unexpected electrical surge. Well, that sudden vibration, and it's unexpectedly vibrates. The electrical surge is not unexpected. That happens every time the magnetic field vibrates. What was unexpected is that the magnetic field did vibrate when there was no incoming solar wind. That can be done through things like solar magnetic amplification causative configurator, SMACC, SMAC, or HAMMER, high altitude meteorological research. I'd have to look what the acronym again, but they stretch the magnetic field, those flux lines of the magnetic field, they stretch them apart and then release them, and it snaps back together like a rubber band. And when it goes boing, a surge of ground current electricity goes through the ground, and you can direct it by touching, just like touching a plasma lamp with your finger, and all those little fingers, those filaments of electricity dancing around inside the plasma ball, they draw towards your finger wherever you touch the plasma lamp. Likewise, you can ground the electricity and direct it to wherever you want it to go to once you stretch the magnetic flux lines out and then let them snap back together to create that fluctuation in the magnetic field, and it creates a surge of ground current. You can direct that current just like touching the plasma ball lamp. So this effect can be artificially induced through technology, and that energy can be directed, but the same energy and fluctuation is happening naturally because of the reduced magnetic field strength. Anytime we get some solar wind, it's fluctuating the magnetic field even more and more because of the weakening magnetic field. Eventually, it doesn't take any solar wind. That magnetic field's going to fluctuate so much. The surges of ground current are going to be everywhere, and the increase is happening exponentially at this point. So much so, it's off the charts. And here's the other thing. Those who do have the technology to create a directed energy weapon out of this natural energy by tapping into the Earth's magnetic field. Everywhere there's magnetism, there's electricity offset by 90 degrees. Everywhere there's electricity, there's magnetism offset by 90 degrees. They go hand in hand. And those who have the ability to weaponize and direct this energy know that there's a worldwide silence about this. So, even if you do use it as a weapon, no one's going to hold it against you because no one can admit such weapons exist, because if the public catches on, then all the governments lose control over their population. If the population finds out the trees are burning from the inside and the government has no control over it, no power to stop it, we can't look to them for protection, the people themselves become unruly and ungovernable. So no government is going to say we got attacked by the Russians and the Chinese, even though our director of the Department of Defense took a podium and acknowledged directed energy weapons have been developed that produce long-range fires. That's one of my videos. Yes, directed energy weapons exist. The reason you won't hear much about them, because the same energetic phenomenon is happening naturally, and it is utmost imperative that they do not let the general public know about this type of energy and how it's coming about and how the governments have no control over it. They would much rather you think it's a directed energy weapon phenomenon. That way you think there's someone on the other end pushing the do button. And all we got to do is have our government go find out who's pushing that do button and make them stop. And if you believe that your government has the power to make it stop, you're going to be in alignment with your government, relying upon them, trusting upon them, going to them for protection and help. If you know they are powerless over it, then they become powerless over you. You do not rely upon them, nor do you obey them, and nor do you see them as having any authority, because they no longer have any power to control this. So they want the public thinking that it's all weapons and technology. They don't want anyone knowing about the natural phenomenon, and it's both.